to be accomplished, because they were confident that you have been tested and that you were sincere in your desires to move Edo State to the next level. So once again, sir, I congratulate you, and through you, our able deputy, who stood by you through thick and thin to ensure that the elections in Edo State, which has become the landmark for elections in the country, was successful. Congratulations, sir. This is more or less an annual ritual, which you are already familiar with. The 2019 report captures the activities of the Commission for that year, beginning from January and terminating on the 31st of December 2019. You are already familiar with the format, and you are already familiar with the content of the reports, because we have presented quite a number to you in the last 4 years. But permit me, sir, to just give a few highlights. In the year under review, a total of 5,710 establishments were approved for the Edo State Civil Service. Out of that total number, 3,044 staff were imposed, creating a total vacancy of 2,666. The gender distribution fell as follows: males 1,852, while the women were 1,192. By way of categorization of staff, we had 632 junior staff, 2,100 senior staff, and 282 management staff, with a consolidated bracket of 30 persons. 50 persons were recruited in that year, 2019, including people with disabilities. We had people with physical disabilities, those with visual impairments, and those with hard hearing. You graciously approved that we even lower the standard for them to enable them come in, recognizing the fact that you were also concerned about that critical sector of the Edo community. 600 persons were promoted to meet the outstanding 2016-2017 promotions. I want to thank you at this stage, because we had appealed here that you should approve that we bring promotions up to date. For that, you have graciously granted, and want to commend you for that effort, and it will help to remove the issues of promotion areas, and it will also bring brighter smiles to the faces of our civil servants. In the year under review, 289 persons retired from the service, and 9% of the total workforce within the next 5 years will clock 60 years of age, or will have completed 35 years of service, and therefore will be exiting from the service. All other things being equal, because there will be deaths, we don't pray for it, there will be resignations, there will be withdrawals as well as dismissals. Those are the highlights of the Commission. Our constraints have also been enunciated. Mr. Governor is familiar with our challenges in the Commission, so I'm not going to go over them here. But we pray that you read the reports, and you have started addressing some of our challenges. But like Oliver Twist, we will continue to ask for more. All other issues that will come up, I want to crave your indulgence that I will bring them to your attention privately. We want to assure you, sir, that the Commission is ever ready to support your administration, particularly in your transformation agenda. It is the constitutional responsibility of the Commission to help Edo State government create develop and build a civil service that is not intimidated, that is not timid, a service that will be able to give you efficient service, a service that will be able to give you effective service delivery. It is only when you have a civil service with these attributes that, Mr. Governor, you will be able to deliver on your mandate to Edo people within the shortest possible time while reaching as many people as possible. No government can do it all within the time frame that you have to serve. But I want to commend you that within the 4 years and a couple of days you have spent as governor of Edo State, we have seen the differences. It is more than eye mark or ear mark. There is field mark. If there is anything like that. So you've done well. We pray to God to give you and your deputy and everybody who is working with you the good health to carry on, and more importantly, to give you the financial enablement to do all that you have planned to do for Edo State. I want to also use the opportunity to thank the good people of the state who had confidence in you, who stood by you in what you yourself called your political wilderness. They provided you succor and they have returned you to this seat, and by God's grace you will serve your tenure and you will achieve all that you have planned to achieve for Edo State. Once more, I congratulate you for your coming back and pledge our unalloyed loyalty to you and to your administration. So, Mr. Governor, we thank you for the opportunity of this morning, and I also thank you for your attention. Good morning.
Backlogs of annual reports that had not been rendered, and it's a thing of joy that you are now the one pursuing me to submit the report, which is a constitutional responsibility of the Commission. I also want to use a thank you for the very kind words that you had for us and your prayers. This responsibility of the Commission to submit reports on the state of affairs of the civil service is perhaps one of the major instruments for governance in a democratic system like this. As you pointed out, without the civil service and the public services, no democratic dispensation can function, because the political parties will present candidates every 4 years as per the Constitution after elections. But there has to be a system that is running devoid of partisan interests, what we call the engine that runs that vehicle called the state. It's there in perpetuity. Like they say, politicians will come and go, but the civil service will remain. Therefore, it's very imperative, it's so key and important that the civil service must be put in its pristine form to perform its constitutional roles. It's unfortunate the experiences we've gone through in the last decades and how it has affected the character and nature of the civil service. That independence, that boldness, which the service should stand for, has been watered down significantly over the decades. And therefore, it's quite fortuitous that at this point in time with my re-election, this civil service, by the grace of God, will now have the responsibility, Civil Service Commission will have the responsibility to work with me to restore Edo civil service to its days of glory. Well, in doing so, we're going to do things rather differently. In some cases, radically differently, because so much has happened over the decades that has affected, like I said, the character and the ethos of the service itself. Also, there's been a lot of changes that have occurred in the world since we adopted the GO and the FIs and all the rules governing the civil service from the colonial masters more than 100 years ago. So you'll be tasked with that very unique responsibility of taking a time-tested establishment and juxtaposing it within the context of the reality of the country we live in today. What do I mean? I promised while I was campaigning, promised at my inauguration, that one of the major assignments, one of the major programs that I was going to embark on was a total transformation of the civil service and the public services. I'm not going to spare a kobo or a naira to make sure that we accomplish it. As you know, it starts with some of the issues you've highlighted in this report. First, how do we get more people into the service? How do we first create proper vacancies? That whole system of creating vacancies in the service, we need to review. How do we fill those vacancies? How do we promote civil servants? How do we prepare them for retirement? And how do we plan our entire staffing so that we don't find ourselves in a position in future or any other, in the future where we are caught napping the way we have been. So you go into the service today and you have unprecedented vacancies. You go into an MDA, you find a level 9, 10 officer, and the next thing you find is a level 15 or 16 officer. So it was quite interesting listening to your staff introducing themselves as functional directors. That is, people who are functional directors who really don't have who have not reached the mark to be directors. Is that not what it means? Because there was a gap. I pray that by the time we finish the exercise of transforming the service, this sort of situation will not happen, will not exist in the civil service now or in the future. I want to solicit your support. I know I shouldn't take it for granted. You've always given us support. The exercise we are about to embark on now is going to be total and comprehensive. Beginning with the review of the rules governing the civil service and bringing them to date and aligning them to our realities. Because that is the starting point. The civil service is a rule-based one. And yes, there have been attempts over the years to amend and reflect some changes in the service. But this time around, within the next 12 months, we're going to undertake a comprehensive review of the entire rules of the civil service. That is the rule book with which the commission works. That is the first assignment. The second will have to do with promotions. We will not promote on the basis of just having been there anymore. Yeah, the fact of having been in the service for a period, for a year or so, does not automatically qualify you for promotion. I know that has been the case. But what has challenged us is that we don't have clearly defined KPIs, what I mean, key performance indicators. Every civil servant must have what that person is expected to deliver on. And it has to be quite objective. And those have to be defined for all categories and cadre of staff in the Edo State Public Service. So that you don't say, oh, myself, the two of us joined service the same day. He's now an assistant director. I am, therefore I should be an assistant director too. No. Your promotion has to be based on merit and based on performance. Just like you have now helped us admit people into the service based on merit. There has to be that consistency. Having brought in people based on merit, people can only be rewarded and promoted based on merit and performance. We have to also look at a way of rewarding civil servants, particularly those who've done well. Yes, we have tried to clean up the pension administration system, so at least people have something to look forward to when they retire. We're going to have to think about how to support and take care of their well-being, their health. We have to look and see how we can support the way they live, because things are tough, things are difficult in the country today. Inflation has almost taken up all the value from regular income. These are things we must look at. That's when I talk about the total and comprehensive review. This is what I mean. And most importantly, we have to introduce technology across all our service delivery across the state and across all functional areas, because that is the one sure way we can obtain maximum value from the services being provided by civil servants. I know I've interacted with many of our civil servants. They can deliver a lot much more than they currently are delivering. But they are limited, they are handicapped for many reasons, but particularly because of the system. The system, the analog system, the manual system that civil service has been used to, they have both based on, needs to be digitized so that people can deliver a lot more efficiently. I have no doubt in my mind that we have the capacity in the current constitution of the Civil Service Commission to deliver on all these changes which we propose. And I want to thank you most sincerely for the diligence, for the efforts and the sacrifice that you continue to put. I know if you think I'm not aware, then you're not reading me right. I am very, very aware of the hard work and the pressure that you are subjected to most times. And I would say if anyone, if it has to be done, then I know I have the right team to do it. And one test I want to put you to that, next year when we are looking at this, you're not going to give me hard copies of this report. So you're not going to present, you're going to look for a digital way to present to me next year. Okay. So once again, I want to thank you most sincerely. And I hear you want to address the press and tell them about some current developments. So please, feel free and go ahead.
To transform the Edo State Civil Service and he has since realized that there are vacancies that need to be filled. In 2018, he also gave approval, and we recruited well over 400 personnel into the state civil service. And right now, he has given another approval to bring in over 500 qualified personnel into the Edo State Civil Service. So I want to use this opportunity to sensitize the good people of Edo State to look out, beginning from Monday, the 14th of December 2020, for the enabling adverts. In the adverts, the positions to be filled will be clearly stated. The academic qualifications required will also be enunciated. The method of application will also be clearly indicated. So we want to urge all our youth to key in by looking out for these adverts, which will be in the national dailies, it will be in Observer, Guardian, Punch, and Vanguard. It will also be on the website of Edo State Government. It will be on the website of Edo State Civil Service Commission. It will be on all the social media platforms which our youth are conversant with. We will also place hard copies in strategic locations within Benin City, at the secretarial premises, in the governor's office. We will also try to distribute to the various local governments so as to bring the information as close as possible to our children, to the good people of Edo State, to Edo State youth, wherever they may be. The applications will be online, so you don't need to travel to anywhere to go and apply. Go on the internet. It is free of charge. Don't allow anybody to deceive you to pay a kobo. It is free of charge. Go online, submit your applications, ensure that you apply within the specifications provided, and then ensure that you keep your systems open so that from time to time, if your attention is needed for one stage or the other, you will also be easily reached. So on behalf of Edo State Civil Service, I want to thank Mr. Governor for this wonderful opportunity. He has also assured us that it will be an ongoing exercise. So if you miss this opportunity, look out for another one. It's not for the civil service alone. It's going to cut across the entire public, Edo State public services. But my mandate is to speak for Edo State Civil Service. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.